Well, welcome back to the Canadian Virtual Bilingual Career Fair. My name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. Thanks for being on today. We're just going to give people a couple of minutes just to get over to the panel here on the main stage. There's still another session that's going on, which is finishing up right in the next minute or two. So just give people an idea. Just a little other tips as well, that we do add on another 10 minutes after the end of this, which will be 4 o'clock Eastern time after the panel, that you'll be able to visit the networking area as well if you haven't had a chance to do that. And you can also visit the expo area as well to find out some products and services that might be of interest to you as well. So just we'll just start in about another 30 seconds or so. I'll introduce the panelists that I have with me, and welcome to everybody for being on here. It's been a great event. I've had an opportunity to network with a number of people through the networking area, and also connect with a number of organizations in the expo area as well. So, okay, well, without further ado, let's get started. Again, if you're just joining, as I see people just joining on, coming onto the platform, my name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. Have a great panel here. If you have some questions for anybody on the panel, you can certainly put them in the chat, and I'll moderate. So I'll start with Madooree. Boodhun is Manager Talent Acquisition at Canadian Federation of Independent Business. Madooree, thanks for being on. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we'll start with you. Maybe you can talk a little bit about, kind of what your role is. Talk a little bit about CFIB, Canadian Federation of Independent Business. Maybe a little bit about your background as well.
Sure. Thank you so much, Marc, and for providing this opportunity to be on this panel. So I'm Madooree Boodhun. I work for the Canadian Federation of Independent Business, CFIB, French-Canadian, la Fédération Canadienne d'Entreprises Indépendantes. So a little bit about background about me first, and I'll go on CFIB later on. So I started actually in recruitment and staffing recruitment, which had me exposed to different sectors of the field of recruitment, being telecommunication, banking, and IT. And now I'm currently, it's been 9 years since I've been at CFIB, and I've started as a recruiter at CFIB and was an HR associate as well, and was a field recruiter as well in terms of specializing in sales recruitment. And now I'm the bilingual manager of talent acquisition, kind of overseeing the recruitment function at CFIB. We have 400 employees at CFIB. And a little bit of background of CFIB, so Canadian Federation of Independent Business. We are a lobby group for small and medium-sized businesses in Canada. We have 95,000 members who are small and medium-sized businesses. We've been, actually this year is our 50th anniversary, so we've been in existence for 50 years now. And so what we do, mainly we are a lobby group for small and medium-sized businesses. We lobby our businesses and our members and see what issues they're facing, and then we will lobby at different levels of the government, be it municipal, provincial, and federal. And in addition to that, CFIB also provides its members some discounts on different products and services that they can use. We negotiate some discount with some certain organization, and so businesses can take advantage in terms of lowering costs of running their business. And the third service that CFIB provides its members is business counseling. So you probably know a lot of small business yourself, so they're very good at what they do and the craft. But when it comes to HR-related issue or recruitment, for instance, and like an expertise on that, they probably don't know where to go and what to do. So CFIB provide kind of a guidance to those small businesses on what to do exactly. So yeah, just a little bit about CFIB and then myself.
Excellent. And what kind of positions do you currently, or what positions does CFIB have open right now that somebody may be interested in applying?
Yeah, so we do have 2 kind of employee group at CFIB, and we do hire a lot of sales individual at CFIB. So across Canada, we need those a B2B sales representative, call it territory sales managers, that goes and meet with businesses, kind of business development of those territories. And so across Canada, we have a lot of those opening as well, from Prince George to Gaspé, Quebec. So there's a lot of different openings. And in terms terms of the support side, so we'll have a position, for instance, we are recruiting for a bilingual product marketing manager, and we do have also a translator position, like in terms of a bilingual position, and we have a writer position both in French and we require one in English as well. And there's a lot of different jobs. For instance, we're always looking and kind of proactively reaching out to talent to see, what they'll be interested in. And we always like to engage in talent, proactively to see what the interest is. And there may be position coming up. So please do reach out, and I probably will share my LinkedIn profile in a little bit. But please do reach out if you are ever interested in knowing more about CFIB or being engaged in terms of knowing what position may come up in the future.
Terrific. Thanks so much. Yogesh Dhawotal is Senior Bilingual HR Business Partner at Acuren Group. Welcome, Yogesh. Thanks for being on here. And same thing, if you can give people watching an idea as to what you do and your company and so on.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me, actually. It's a pleasure to be here. So quick background about me. I've been in HR industry for around 21 years now, been in different roles, been in the shoes of Madooree doing recruitment, which is a tough one. And so been in this industry for 20 years. I'm actually with Acuren Group, which is in the non-destructive testing. And I support freelance or business, non-destructive testing, nuclear industry, and the wind energy. So the wind energy is one of the sector that is actually picking up a lot. I know we are in that forum where we are saying where is the opportunity. So that's the opportunity where new people who's on the market, who doesn't know where to go, that's probably somewhere that they can think about. And it's also very appealing to the millennials because it's about the clean energy. So wind energy and all those things. So I know people have a lot of advocacy, talking a lot about, we need to do this, we need to do that, so many things. But you have the opportunity to actually be part of that and be a player to actually make a difference in the environment. So that's why what we are pitching for. So this business is picking up a lot in the US. That's what I can say from what I'm seeing. We are usually whatever US does, we usually copy as Canada. That's basically what we do because we know they try it and all. They are usually the pioneers. So if this is picking up, that will also come to us at some point. And the wind energy is also very well-rounded industry in the European market. So it's nothing new, but in the North American market, it is quite new now. And I'm sure that this will transpose into Canada. It's already picking up in Canada, but at a slower pace compared to US. Of course, US energy needs is higher than us. So that's something that we are busy working on. And my advice to those who are seeking to get into this position, get in early. Get in early because you have opportunity to grow and become team leaders, managers, because it's a new industry and we need people. We are still hiring people without having to go through, proper schooling and education into that particular world because it's difficult to have. So I would highly encourage people to get in early. And we have a cohort usually due in February, so watch out for that, where we hire a number of people, where we train massively. So that we can actually get ready, because usually that's the downtime. And then when the spring season comes, then the business picks up for the whole year. So that's what I'm trying to sell also from the Acuren Group. So I don't know, I've talked more about my company than myself, but that's it, right?
That's great. That's good information. So kind of open to both of you. What are you seeing? What are the maybe mistakes that some job seekers are making? What are the trends that you're seeing? What advice would you give a job seeker right now?
Sure. I can go.
Either way.
Yes, that's good. Thank you. So what I feel, what I'm seeing right now a lot, because we receive a lot of resume and then we view a lot of resume every single day. So what I'm seeing a lot is sometimes there's kind of a disconnect in the position that and they're applying for. So I think it's good for the candidates, and that's the tips I want to give to all the job seekers out there, is to exactly know what are your career goals and what are you looking in terms of your position. There are a lot of different positions, and to exactly know this is where you want to see yourself. This is a company where you want to grow yourself in. So it's very important to have that connection in terms of the job as well, and as well with the organization. I think it aligned very well in terms of the job seekers to stay for a longer time in an organization, to grow in those organizations is something that, and to look at the culture of the organization, what exactly, what kind of employee engagement is there, and what kind of team environment is there. Are they looking more for a collaborative approach that they're looking? So that will be a better fit for them and better fit for the organization as well. So a little tips that I would probably just give is just definitely know in terms of what you're looking in terms of career role, research in the company before you apply, and research on the culture of the organization. And I think it shows a longer terms in terms of prospect and for their investment in the organization as well.
Excellent. Yogesh, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, rightly said by Madooree. So yeah, this is definitely there. And one of the things I would also add on top of what she said is we have people now also that they don't know exactly what they would want to do. They just apply for jobs, and then when you interview them, you realize like there's no sort of direction in terms of the sense of direction, like where they would go. So everyone wants to go with the flow. That's basically the answer you get, right? So we'll see how it is. So I think there's need a little bit of, we go with the flow. That's correct. But what are your end goal? What is your end goal? What are the kind of things you would do? So I would say to the people on the market is maybe you won't get the job that you want to do right away, but try to think, what are the things I can do which is associated, the peripherals, which is going to in some time lead me to that goal. But let me start with something which is connected in some way or the other, which will have a path to that, because there's that quickness that people want to get to a job right away. And that's where they usually fail and the frustration comes. So that would be what I would say is find that path and make your way towards that destination. And that would be it means patience, it means research, and that will give success for sure.
Great advice. If you have any questions for the panelists, feel free to put them in the event or in the stage chat. I'm happy to moderate. So again, open to either one of you. There was a survey that has been done recently, and it's asked recruiters what are the most important factors to recruiters when considering a candidate. Number one is previous job experience. Number two is employee referral, and number three are references. So kind of maybe what's your number one, number two, and three? Would you agree with that list, or do you have a different list? So again, these are what's the most important factors to you when you're searching for candidates or when you're looking at a candidate. Madooree, do you want to start, Yogesh, maybe on this one, and then we'll go back to Madooree?
Yeah, for me, the number one, I would say, and now in many organizations, it's the attitude. It's that matters the most, is how you present yourself. Well, do you really want this job, or it's just another job? All these you can see. So your body language and all these, they speak. Even though you think that these people don't know what they're doing, they're interviewers. What's in my mind? It's not like we're mind readers, but we already see from that the cues and the way that they talk, the way that they interact. So there's attitude will be one more important, and there's also flexibility and adaptability, which is most, because what is happening, we've seen COVID has come and there's many things that have come up. One of the most important factors, the resilience, is to be able to adapt, be able to change, you're able to be flexible. And companies are also trying to change and put new things in place. They are not like they didn't know that COVID will come or any other thing that came up, anything that happened. So now they're trying to reinvent themselves. So while they're reinventing themselves, there's many companies that may be going a path and will change it. And people keeps on getting frustrated. They say, oh, change again. You know what I mean? Like that's the norm. That's going to be the thing. And try to embrace it. Try to be with that. So that would be my take on that.
Perfect. Madooree, your top three?
Yes, right on point, Yogesh. I think agile, I think is the word kind of, in terms of where we are looking in terms of candidate as well, and where every organization is going right, as of right now. When Mark, you did mention a bit about resume, I wanted to kind of not stretch on that, but I would say it's very important when candidates apply, and it's the resume is the first impression that actually you give to the recruiter. So mentioning skills that actually the job is looking for, mentioning about what have you done. A lot of time in organization, you do a lot of different things, and it could be related to this job. So take your time and see what the job is and some things you have done. Pinpoint those skills, and I think it's very important for that to share. And definitely resume would be one, I would say, thing that it's kind of like kind of open the door for you to the organization. So take your time, look at the mistakes in the resume, make sure get somebody else kind of check your resume. Sometimes there may be some grammatical mistake or something about the gap, and I see a lot of sometimes the dates are not correct, so making sure that somebody else look at that and give you an opinion on that, so it helps you in terms of building kind of the initial impression on the recruiter, so that actually they look at all that to make a decision to move you forward in terms of the next step.
Excellent. So how through COVID, how has your recruiting process changed? Is it faster? Is it slower? People are working from home. So how is all that? How has any of that changed how you approach the process? Open to either of you, whoever wants to take it.
Okay, so I'll just continue. So what we've seen is there's a lot of video interviews that's happening. And I think for the people who is looking for job, you need to master that skill. That's another advice I would say is, before, I don't know if you remember, before when we used to do interviews, we would say, go in front of the mirror and repeat and see how you speak, right? You see yourself and you speak, right? So that was good at that point. What was valid advice? So maybe today it's not a valid advice. I would say, put yourself, tape yourself, record yourself, see how you are talking, how you are, and you have to fight the fear of the camera, because that's a big problem that we face. I had a fear for camera, I'll be honest with you. When whole thing started, like I see myself in the mirror and in front of the camera, we see all those faces on Zoom. So all these are like, it's a change, it's a different world. We were not used to it. So now we are getting more and more, we're adapting ourselves, we're embracing it, we are going through that. So I would say my advice to the people is go and look into how you do those videos, tape yourself, record yourself, see how you can change it. And actually it's the best tool. I don't know, I use that in Train the Trainer. When I was doing Train the Trainer, that is the only time I used to use video, where they actually see how you're presenting, and then they tell you how can you change your presentation. So I would say use that same logic and apply it to yourself and go there, because all those interviews, there will be some form of video that is there. And the second thing I have noticed also, which our company is also big working on it, they are also working on assessment, because of that human element not being present, that human interaction direct, it's virtual. So I think what they've seek refuge, like shelter, in terms of those assessments, where it gives us an idea about the personality, about the traits, about all those kind of aspects. There's different kind of personality traits other things that they do. So that is being added up with that interview now. So these are two things I'm seeing: video and assessment. They are big. And I think it's a good combination, because it removes the subjectivity out of the interview, because there's always some subjectivity. So this is what I've seen lately. I don't know, Madooree, if you have any other things to.
Yes. So fortunately, our organization, CFIB, we had been very, from before, we had pre-recorded video interviews that we were using because we do recruit across Canada. So we're using that. But when the switch happened, it was pretty easy for us, and we switched back to Zoom and Teams as well. But I think that we had been doing differently is definitely the face-to-face interview with the manager. They would come to the office and meet, and it was something that we actually missing. When somebody comes to the office, we'll see all the environment, the culture, how they are as a team. That's kind of missing. However, we trying to have the same approach kind of over general to give candidates kind of a how our organization is in terms of culture, and describing the organization and the level of work and interaction with different teams. And but what we've been doing, which has been a change, which will be in terms of onboarding new candidates, and all the onboarding has been online since COVID hit, and we've hired, and there's some of the individuals that haven't really met, but it's fascinating to see how things evolve in terms of the onboarding and orientation of new employees.
Great. Really good information. Favorite interview question that each of you have?
I can go with that one. I think I asked on my interview. So one thing I like to ask the candidates is to look back at their jobs and that they have worked at several positions, and where exactly they felt they were thriving in those roles, and why were they thriving. I think it's a question also in depth to know for themselves, to know if this is going to be a fit for them as well in this organization, that's CFIB. So you'll get to know a lot about in terms of what they are looking in terms of their goals and where they will succeed, and what success is for them, what kind of environment will actually make them successful hire at CFIB.
Good. And Yogesh?
Yeah, on my side, I go with that sales pitch. Is like, why should we hire you? What like, that's like, make your case, make your pitch. Like, if you can't sell yourself, then who's gonna sell yourself? Like, you are the person who knows you the best. So we need to see how that person can sell himself or herself, in terms of now applying it, and not just saying like we were talking before, like just things which are very generic, but that is the opportunity where the candidate has to actually connect what he has as skill sets and what the job is there, and make that connection. The more they make the connection, and that also helps us as panelists, as people who are interviewing, it makes our this, because the decision is always difficult. I mean, if you see people go for interviews, it's not an easy task. Once you finish the interview, now you have to do those calibration and compare X to Y, Y to Z, and all those things, how they've done, somehow pointed system. So that's actually a really good one, which gonna help the panel. And you need to help the panel as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's a way to get it there. So that's my favorite one. I like that one.
That's good. That's good. Good stuff. And maybe talk about a candidate that stood out, something that they did, somebody that you still to this day, maybe you met them last week, last month, last year, whatever, but something that made them memorable that, maybe other people should learn from.
I have a very interesting story, and it's a very funny one, and it was something that I remembered, and not that I'm advising anybody to do that, but we had a candidate that actually sent us a shoe before they actually they sent the application, but they sent us a shoe. The whole concept of his was actually to have kind of the foot out the door. So that's what the reason he sent that. So that was something which I will always remember. And it's been actually 2 years that the candidate said that. But this talks about, in terms of the engagement right after the interview. So, or even applying. And sometimes I do receive a lot of invite from candidates on LinkedIn, and I really appreciate that. I think it shows interest of the candidates looking for kind of looking to connect with you and know the organization, or look at different profile of knowing, with a Glassdoor, what they're saying. So it does for them. From our side, it looks like the candidate is interested in engaging with us as an organization.
Excellent. Yeah. How about you, Yogesh?
I recall one. It was a territory sales manager. The guy came in with a 90-day plan, like what he will do in his job, like by himself, rather than us asking him. Like it was very elaborate and all, and he said he can leave a copy as well, but he went into the points and explaining like what he will do. And we were really impressed. Like he really did a good homework in understanding the product. It was a new business line that was struggling in the market of Quebec. And he did a really good job. So yeah, these are memorable things. Sometimes when people come prepared and they are doing things before, that would be when you do the onboarding, right? And then you say, okay, here's your 90-day plan. So he's already coming with his, of course, can be fine-tuned, but he's already proactive. So I really like that candidate.
That's good. That's good that you're sharing these memorable experiences with people, because everybody's different. Some are more shy than others, and so these are good, interesting stories. So maybe we just have a couple minutes left here, but maybe Madooree, if you want to say something in French about, maybe why someone should apply with you and how to go about doing it, maybe in French, you can share it for our bilingual watchers, viewers.
Oui, je pense que l'organisation à la FCI, on est une organisation très influentielle. À la FCI, il y a beaucoup de positions que nous avons. Alors, si vous êtes intéressé et si vous voulez faire comme si quelque chose de différent dans votre carrière, alors vous pouvez nous joindre à la FCI. Alors, c'est toujours www.fci.ca, www.cfiv.ca. Get to know our organization and then be interested to know who you are, and please do connect with me.
Terrific. Thanks very much. And Yogesh?
Yeah, you want me to speak in French too?
Whatever you want. Yeah, sure.
Ben, je parle français aussi à toutes les francophones. Eh bien, il y en a plein d'opportunités. Au fait, il y en a plein d'opportunités ici au Canada avec le fait d'être bilingue ouvre beaucoup plus de portes, et aussi la façon qu'on est éduqué, la façon qu'on parle, la façon qu'on est notre système en elle-même est beaucoup plus élargi parce qu'on doit jongler entre l'anglais et le français, et puis on a d'autres langues qu'on a appris. Alors, ça nous donne un atout et ça nous donne aussi une culture qui est différente. Alors, utilisez ça dans vos entretiens. Utilisez ces atouts pour que vous puissiez impressionner un peu le panéliste, pour leur montrer que vous avez un peu plus de skill set, beaucoup plus de talent comparé à d'autres, que ça va vous démarquer. Ça va vous démarquer comparé à d'autres. Et l'adaptation, je suis sûr que les gens de bilingue, l'adaptation, c'est quelque chose de très facile parce qu'on le fait tous les jours. Alors, utilisez cet atout-là parce que je pense que c'est quelque chose de très, très bien qu'on a. Et si vous avez d'autres, comme moi, j'ai 4 langues que je parle, alors c'est encore un autre atout. Et aussi, dans cette optique, on est en train de parler beaucoup sur diversity and inclusion. It's a big topic. Okay, I'm just going to switch back to English.
Yeah.
So when you have this bilingual capability and other languages, and also with the culture and everything that comes to it, diversity and inclusion is growing big. They are hiring directors, VPs of diversity and inclusion, which we've never seen before. So that's already showing that there's a willingness. And how do you tap into that market? How do you tap into that? Because they want to showcase, they want to see diversity in everything they do, and you can have a leverage in that. And that is something maybe you can think about, things that you can say in the interview, prepare yourself on that. And that's a really big topic. And every company is investing hugely, massively, especially after the Floyd event that happened in the US, the unfortunate event. Unfortunately, we had to have this event that created this. But anyways, on the positive side, this is what is happening, right? So it is growing and it is going to happen. So I would say you put your money there. If I was to be someone betting something, that's where your money should go.
That's good. Excellent. Well, thank you to both of you. Thanks for everyone for coming to today's Canadian Virtual Bilingual Career Fair, the event presented by TorontoJobs.ca and TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca and powered by Event Logic with a K.ca. My name is Marc, President of TorontoJobs.ca. The panelists today, Yogesh Dhawotal, Senior Bilingual HR Business Partner at Acuren Group, and Madooree Boodhun is Manager Talent Acquisition at Canadian Federation of Independent Business, or CFIB. And I want to thank all the other speakers that we had today as well. How did you like the event? Let us know. We'll send you a survey to complete within 24 hours of today's event. We do have a couple other great events coming up as well that you might want to check out tomorrow. If you're an entrepreneur, we have the Toronto Entrepreneurs Conference that happens tomorrow, Thursday, August 19th. The Student Career Conference Career Fair also happens on August 25th, so next week. The Canadian Virtual Career Fair happens on September 15th, and the Tech Virtual Hiring Event, so this is for tech people, happens on September 29th. So mark them down on your calendar. You can visit TorontoJobs.ca/news, NEWS, for more information. You can also visit eventlogic.ca. I just want to quickly thank our sponsors, TorontoJobs.ca. You can, if you're looking for a new job, feel free to email your resume to resumes@TorontoJobs.ca. There's lots of great openings there, and you can post your resume on the site. TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. Again, if you're an entrepreneur, visit the site to find out about upcoming events. EventLogic.ca. If you'd like to sponsor, exhibit at, or speak at an upcoming event, visit the website. And if you'd like to have your organization or services highlighted, there are speaker, sponsor, and exhibitor options available. Feel free to reach out and visit the website at eventlogic.ca. Also, on next Tuesday, August 24th, how TorontoJobs.ca can help you find a job. You can visit the chat, or you can check out the chat for the link, or you can, again, visit TorontoJobs.ca/news. You can check out all our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. You can check out our YouTube channel as well. And I want to thank all the team as well: Alex, Rachel, Sandra, Carla, Sarah, and more. A lot of people behind the scenes helping out. So I just wanted to thank them for all their work behind the scenes. And we do tack on an extra 10 minutes. So you can check out some networking, and the expo area is still open for another 10 minutes. So feel free to check that out if you like. So again, thanks very much to the panel. Thanks to all of you for being here and all the speakers, and see you at the next event. Thanks again, Madooree and Yogesh.
Thanks, Marc. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.